Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. We're back out here today. I'm taking another break as I'm working on this house. And we talked about yesterday how the story of Abimelech and how the people of Shechem embraced his idea, which was it was a bad idea to make him king, okay? And so we talked about embracing a bad idea, okay? Much like this home here. It would be a bad idea for someone to come and live in it or to live in it when all this water damage occurred, and to just ignore it and go, that's fine, it's okay. That's a bad idea. And to embrace that bad idea and to continue on with it is like, we just need to keep on living here, even though there's now things growing from the ceiling and all that stuff. So to embrace this bad idea is you're going to see the consequences today. So the passage today we're going to be reading is Judges chapter 9 verses 22 to 57. It's kind of a longer passage today, so fasten up your seatbelts. We're going to be doing some reading, but you're going to see the consequences of what happens here. At the end of the story yesterday, we talked about how Jotham, Gideon's youngest son, he said, basically kind of a prophecy here, he said, if God's blessing is on what you're doing here, then may you guys just live happily ever after. But if it's not, may fire come from Abimelech and destroy you guys, and may fire come from you guys and destroy Abimelech. So let's see what happens here, okay? Picking up chapter 9 of Judges, verses 22 through 57. After Abimelech had governed Israel for 3 years, God stirred up the animosity between Abimelech and the citizens of Shechem so that they acted treacherously against Abimelech. Okay? Keep in mind, Abimelech was never doing anything godly. He hired a bunch of scoundrels to help him. Okay? And he just started off by murdering all his brothers to start off with. God did this in order that the crime against Gideon's 70 sons, the shedding of blood, might be avenged on their brother Abimelech and on the citizens of Shechem who had helped him murder his brothers. In opposition to him, these citizens of Shechem set men on the hilltops to ambush and rob everyone who passed by, and this was reported to Abimelech. Now Gaal, son of Ebed, moved with his clan into Shechem, and its citizens pay their confidence in him. After they had gone out into the fields and gathered the grapes and trodden them, they held a festival in the temple of their God. While they were eating and drinking, they cursed Abimelech. Then Gaal, son of Ebed, said, "Who is Abimelech, and why should we Shechemites be subject to him? Isn't he Gideon's son, and isn't Zebul his deputy? Serve the family of Hamor, Shechem's father. Why should we serve Abimelech? If only this people were under my command, then I would get rid of him. I would say to Abimelech, call out your whole army." When Zebul, the governor of the city, heard what Gaal, son of Ebed, said, he was very angry. Under cover, he sent messengers to Abimelech, saying, Gaal, son of Ebed, and his clan have come to Shechem and are stirring up the city against you. Now then, during the night, you and your men should come and lie in wait in the fields. In the morning and at sunrise, advance against the city. When Gaal and his men come out against you, seize the opportunity and attack him. So Abimelech and all his troops set out by night and took up the concealed positions near Shechem in the 4 companies. Now Gaal, son of Ebed, had gone out and was standing at the entrance of the city gate, just as Abimelech and his troops came out from their hiding place. When Gaal saw them, he said to Zebul, "Look, people are coming down from the tops of the mountains." Zebul replied, "You mistake the shadows of the mountains for men." But Gaal spoke up again, "Look, people are coming down from the central hill, and a company is coming from the direction of the diviner's tree." Then Zebul said to him, "Where is your big talk now, you who said, 'Who is Abimelech that we should be subject to him?' Aren't these men who ridiculed? Go out and fight them." So Gaal led out the citizens of Shechem and fought Abimelech. Abimelech chased him all the way to the entrance of the gate, and many were killed as they fled. Then Abimelech stayed in Arumah, and Zebul drove Gaal into his clan out of Shechem. Okay, so they're now they're at war. You got Abimelech at war with Shechem, and there's a big fight going on here. A bunch of people are dying. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Verse 42. The next day the people of Shechem went out to the fields, and this was reported to Abimelech. So he took his men and divided them into 3 companies and set an ambush in the fields. When he saw the people coming out of the city, he rose to attack them. Abimelech and the companies with him rushed forward to a position at the entrance of the city gate. Then 2 companies attacked those in the fields and struck them down. All that day Abimelech pressed his attack against the city until he had captured it and killed its people. Then he destroyed the city and scattered salt over it. Not too good for the city you're supposed to be ruling over. Verse 46, on hearing this, the citizens in the Tower of Shechem went into the stronghold of the temple of El-Berith, and when Abimelech heard that they had assembled there, he and all his men went up to Mount Zalmah. He took an axe and cut off some branches, which he lifted to his shoulders. He ordered the men with him, quick, do what you have seen me do. So all the men cut branches and followed Abimelech. They piled them against the stronghold and set it on fire with the people still inside. So all the people in the Tower of Shechem, about 1,000 men and women, also died. So Abimelech goes and he cuts down branches of trees, and then all these people are hiding in this tower, and in the tower here, and so when he and then he piles it up against the tower and sets it on fire, with all this kindling around there that these guys have brought over, and all those people died. Okay, not like I said, this story, it's like, can anything good happen out of here? Okay. Verse 50, next Abimelech went to Thebez and besieged it and captured it. Inside the city, however, was a strong tower to which all the men and women, all the people of the city, had fled. Okay, so they're going to this tower now. And they all fled into there. They all locked themselves in and climbed up on the tower roof. Abimelech went to the tower and attacked it. But as he was approaching the entrance to the tower to set it on fire, a woman dropped an upper millstone on his head and cracked his skull. Hurriedly, he called to his armor-bearer, draw your sword and kill me, so that they can't say a woman killed him. So his servant ran him through, and he died. When the Israelites saw that Abimelech was dead, they went home. Thus God repaid the wickedness that Abimelech had done to his father by murdering his 70 brothers. God also made the people of Shechem pay for all their wickedness. The curses of Jotham, son of Gideon, came on them. Okay? So, in the end, it's just like Jotham had this curse that he had put on him, and said, if God's for you in this decision, then you just go ahead and you guys enjoy each other. But if it's not, he said, may fire come from Abimelech and destroy Shechem, and may fire come from Shechem and destroy Abimelech. And sure enough, that's what happened. They're at this big war, and Abimelech's going out wiping out people from Shechem, and then he goes to this tower, and the people end up killing him. A woman ends up killing him by dropping a stone on him out of the tower. So, the thing is, the consequence. Started out as just a bad idea of making Abimelech king. Okay. Today we're talking about the consequences of it. So we shouldn't be surprised of the consequences of this bad idea of what had happened. Okay. There's a story, and this has happened. This is a true story, and it's happened several times. Sadly, I don't know why people do this, but they do. So there's a story of a couple that had a boa constrictor, okay, as a pet. They kept it in a cage downstairs, and then they had a baby, okay, and they had the baby upstairs and put the baby in the crib. And the wife, kept saying to her husband, I don't really trust the snake, being here with the baby. We have a new baby now. And the husband said, he's fine. He won't hurt the baby, And they kept the snake in the cage. So one night, they heard some banging around, but they didn't think anything of it. They thought, oh, the baby's just, making some noise. I heard the baby cry a little bit and then stopped crying, okay, and just kind of ignored it. And woke up in the morning, and the guy went down to his den downstairs and looked over and saw in the snake cage the lid was off. He was like, oh, great, lid's off. And he looks around a little bit, and then he's like, oh no. He runs upstairs into the crib, and there is the boa constrictor, with naturally the boa constrictor is in the crib and has, this big lump inside of it where the baby was. That man was so enraged that he went out, grabbed that snake, threw it outside, and took, I forget what he used, a big knife or something, and just started wailing on that thing to cut that snake open. But the baby died, okay? And the story continues on. The man eventually went into the mental institution because he was so distraught. The thing is, he had been warned about that snake, and why mess around with the snake? But he insisted on keeping it. And there's consequences to that. The consequence was he had lost the baby's life because of that. And so sin has consequences, and we shouldn't be surprised at the consequences of sin. But that's the way things are. And so we need to stop our sin so we don't have to endure those consequences. So thanks for watching. I am just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I'll see you tomorrow as we continue. We're going to talk just a little bit more about Abimelech as we are jumping into Judges. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Lord's blessing to you.